Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a powerful day wherever you are in the world. As always, I truly appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join me for another deep dive into everything happening with Monad, Bitcoin, and the broader crypto market. Your support honestly means more than you know, and I don't take a single one of you for granted. Today's update is especially important because we're sitting at a moment where emotions in the market are mixed. Some traders are feeling cautious, others are staying patient, and many are simply waiting for confirmation before making their next move. We're seeing slight pullbacks, ongoing volatility, and major macro events influencing price action across the board. So today, we're going to break all of that down in a simple, calm, and realistic way. No hype, no fear, just the facts and logical expectations. By the end of this video, you will have a very clear understanding of where Monad currently stands, how Bitcoin is influencing the market, what dominance is signaling right now, and what the most important levels are to watch in the short term. Let's get right into it. This is not financial advice. Please do your own research before making any decision. Looking at the overall crypto market right now, we can clearly see that things have cooled off slightly over the past several hours. We're not seeing a full breakdown or panic level selling, but we are seeing a controlled pullback. This kind of movement is actually very common after periods of strong momentum or heavy speculation. As far as Monad specifically is concerned, the price has pulled back by roughly 2.65 cents, translating into about an 8% decline over the last 24 hours. When you compare this move against Bitcoin, it's also down by roughly 7% relative to BTC. That tells us something very important. This isn't just a monad-specific issue. This is part of broader market movement. Now, market cap is currently sitting just under $289 million, while the 24-hour trading volume is hovering around $210 million. That's still very healthy volume for a project at this stage. It means people are actively trading it, liquidity is still there, and interest hasn't disappeared. On top of that, Monad's total value locked, or TVL, is sitting at approximately $182 million. That's a key number we'll keep coming back to throughout this discussion, because TVL tells us a lot about real usage inside the ecosystem, not just price speculation. When we shift our focus toward the DeFi side of Monad, something interesting starts to emerge. While we previously saw TVL pushing toward the upper end of the range, around the $190 million area, it has now been oscillating between $180 million and $190 million without breaking into a fresh all-time high. This naturally leads to an important question. Is on-chain activity slowing down? And honestly, the answer isn't black and white. If we look at protocol rankings and recent 7-day activity changes, we can still see that interaction is happening. Users are still utilizing the ecosystem, liquidity is still cycling, transactions are still being processed. However, when it comes to explosive growth or fresh record highs in TVL, we haven't seen that push yet. That doesn't mean something is wrong. In many cases, this kind of behavior actually points toward consolidation rather than collapse. Markets don't move in straight lines forever. Sometimes they need to pause, let leverage cool down, let traders reposition, and then prepare for the next expansion phase. What's also important to note here is that Monad's TVL is now nearly equal to its market valuation, which is actually a very interesting position to be in. When a project's TVL closely matches its market cap, it often suggests that the asset may be closer to fair value than extreme overvaluation. That doesn't mean price can't move, it absolutely can, but it does mean speculation has a stronger foundation beneath it. Now, we have to talk about Bitcoin because, like it or not, Bitcoin still controls the direction of nearly everything in this market. Bitcoin dominance is currently holding above 59%, and that's a huge factor right now. As long as dominance stays elevated, altcoins, including Monad, will continue to feel pressure. Capital prefers safety during uncertain periods, and Bitcoin is still viewed as the safest crypto asset. The biggest reason behind this hesitation across the market is the upcoming Federal Reserve meeting, FOMC. Every time we approach one of these events, volatility increases, risk appetite drops, and traders become more reactive instead of proactive. Bitcoin itself is currently sitting near $90,500, but it has experienced major price swings in recent days. These sharp moves are not random. They reflect uncertainty. Markets don't like unknown outcomes, and that is exactly what we're dealing with right now. Earlier, we saw Bitcoin approach the 0.50 Fibonacci retracement zone, which acted as a rejection point. That rejection cooled momentum and pulled liquidity away from altcoins almost immediately. This relationship between Bitcoin retracements and altcoin pullbacks is extremely consistent, and Monad is no exception. Let's talk strictly about Monad's price structure. Recently, Monad climbed up toward the 0.03 level, which was a major psychological and technical area. That move was expected, and we discussed it in advance. However, after hitting that zone, the price failed to hold and began to retrace. So far, the retracement from the local top measures roughly 11%, which is well within normal market behavior. Now here's the critical part. The 0.026 area has emerged as a key support zone. For the last couple of days, Monad has been building price action right around this level. We saw multiple rejections below it and multiple confirmations above it. That tells us buyers are still defending this region. Just 24 hours ago, the price surged from around 0.024 to nearly 0.029, marking a nearly 20% upside move in a very short time. That rally was triggered mainly by Bitcoin's temporary recovery toward key resistance. But once Bitcoin stalled again and dominance started rising, Monad gave back part of that move. This is not weakness, it's simply how market correlation works. Now let's discuss the downside scenario clearly and honestly, without fear. If Monad fails to hold above the $0.026 support zone, the next logical retest area sits around $0.0254 to $0.0257 from current levels that would represent a move of only about 3 to 4% lower. That is completely realistic and very manageable in terms of market structure. This does not signal a breakdown of the project. It does not mean long-term failure. It simply means the market needs to test lower liquidity before determining its next direction. This would only become dangerous if we saw high-volume selling accompanied by collapsing TVL and shrinking on-chain activity. At this moment, that is not what we're seeing. Now, if Monad holds support and begins to recover, the first key level we must reclaim is $0.028. Holding above that level would instantly shift momentum back in favor of the bulls. Above that, the 0.03 area becomes the next major breakout target, which previously acted as a top. If price reaches that zone again and holds above it with volume, that would open the door for a much larger continuation. It's also important to remember that earlier when Monad was trading near $0.022, we clearly identified the $0.03 region as a major future target, long before price even approached it. And that target was hit perfectly. That tells us our broader structure analysis remains valid. This phase of the market is not about chasing green candles. It's about patience. It's about discipline. It's about understanding risk. Emotional trading is what destroys portfolios during periods like this. When volatility increases and direction becomes unclear, the smartest move is often to wait for confirmation instead of guessing. If you are already positioned, the focus should be on risk management, not panic. If you are not positioned, the goal should be on reacting, not predicting. Monad is down roughly 8% on the day. TVL remains strong near $182 million. Bitcoin dominance above 59% continues to pressure alts. FOMC uncertainty is increasing volatility. $0.026 is the most important support right now. 0.028 and 0.03 are critical recovery targets. No structural breakdown has occurred. This is consolidation, not collapse. Monad is not failing. The ecosystem is not collapsing. TVL is not vanishing. On-chain activity is not dead. What we are witnessing right now is a healthy market pullback inside a volatile macro environment dominated by Bitcoin and interest rate uncertainty. These conditions naturally suppress aggressive altcoin rallies. That does not mean upside is gone. It simply means upside is delayed. As long as Monad continues to defend its key support zones and Bitcoin does not break down aggressively, the door remains open for a continuation toward higher levels. But confirmation must come first. Patience will always outperform impulsiveness in this space. Thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe for more daily crypto insights. Catch you in the next one. Stay crypto smart.